Can we just flex for a second? I just made a video where I explained why I quit teaching, but the reality is that I didn't quit teaching. I changed the form of my teaching. I stopped teaching in a classroom and I started teaching on the internet. I need to turn the air conditioner off. Hold on. I used to reach 120 students per day, every single day. Now I reach 100,000 or 500,000 people every month at least. My life has changed in a very interesting and bizarre way, but I wanted to just celebrate a couple of things with you before I get back to my new content, my regular season of content. And longtime viewers will notice that this camera setup is very different. So yes, new things are coming. My first viral video reached more than 100,000 people, and we got 100,000 people to understand a core message from this book, many of whom I know went and bought the book afterwards. I also made a video about Bryan Stevenson's work, Just Mercy, which reached 500,000, now 600,000 people on my channel, and Viola Davis reposted it to her Instagram, and it reached 400,000 more. So well over a million folks have been directed towards the person who wrote this book because of what I wrote, the video that I made. Same thing is true for all of these books. This one rather recently, which is sneaking up on 70,000 views. The concept of himpathy is a fabulous concept that everyone should know about. Why is this a flex? Because I don't have the power to hold you for detention for not doing your homework. The only power that I have is talking about books in such a way that makes you want to read them. And even if you do not have the disposable income or time to buy these books and read them as thoroughly as I do, which I completely understand given how this economy works, I have been able to point to the core message of many of these books for literally millions of people. And that is a different kind of teaching than I have ever done before. And in an era where misinformation and disinformation and international disinformation, pseudo Cold War like intellectual hit jobs are able to happen, clear and precise reasoning on the internet is a value for the world that I'm providing. And one final joke. I was joking with my friend who's still in the classroom that I miss teaching because now I'm making these videos and nobody respects my work and I don't get paid enough. And he said, nobody respects your work and you don't get paid enough? Sounds a whole lot like a teacher to me. So yes, I have not quit teaching. I have changed the form of my teaching. If you've been following me for a long time, you know that I constantly am trying to up my game in order to continue to educate online. To close out, I want to actually look at this book. This is The Education of an Idealist by Samantha Power. I haven't really talked about this book much on my channel, to be honest, even though it took me frickin' hours to read. One of the things that she says in this book, she, for what it's worth, is one of the people who stopped Russia from using chemical weapons in Syria. She is one of the people who got the United Nations to recognize gay rights when the United Nations would not do that. She is a wartime reporter, and she has been on the front lines of many of the world's most significant events, sharing the truth with the world as it happens. She's an unmitigated badass, and this book is worth your time, even though I haven't talked about it at all yet on my channel. The reason I'm bringing it up is because teaching taught me something that I think people miss. It doesn't matter how good your lesson plan is if you can't get students to sit down and listen to it. You need a little bit of discipline. You need a little bit of rules and structure to make it happen. It doesn't matter if you have those rules and structure and you have the best lesson plan in the world if students come into your classroom and they haven't eaten. So to answer the question that opened this video, why am I still teaching? It's dawning on me that I didn't say the conclusion that I was trying to say. Okay, here's the conclusion from the editing bay here. The core idea that I'm trying to get at is that in this world where the economy is an attention economy, we will increasingly need teachers who understand the algorithm. Platforming is the classroom management of the digital education sphere. When you are competing with dance videos and the Tide Pod challenge and misogynists with podcast microphones, right? battling the attention economy is the classroom management of the digital public square. That's the thought. So to answer the question that opened this video, why am I still idealistic? I am still teaching because even though idealistic enterprises have a tendency to be undervalued by our idealistic enterprises have a tendency to be undervalued by our current exploitative society. And even though I will not be able to reach everyone that matters, and even though I will not be able to reach everyone that I would like for truth, I still believe are interested in making that truth look for truth and are readily accessible, making that truth are doing work that matters and readily accessible. And so I'm not going to give up. Are doing work that matters. To support me, Patreon is the easiest way to do that. If you'd like to support me, it's the most consistent for me. Patreon is the easiest way to do that. Consistency matters. It's the most consistent for me. And algorithmic consistency matters. My name's Charlie. This is That Makes Sense to Me. Coming at you for another season. My name's Charlie. Talk to you in the next one. This is That Makes Sense to Me. Coming at you for another season. Talk to you in the next one. Bye.